Welcome back to another Build Positively, the series where we track our monthly progress and refine our strategy for the road ahead. This month, I'm breaking down my earnings in gold, training materials, parkours, and T4s, what went right, what could have gone better, and how I'm adjusting my plan to stay ahead without overspending. So if you're looking for ways to maximize your resources and make smart upgrades, you're in the right place. And without further ado, let's get into it. As always on Build Positively, we start with a very simple message. It's your game. You play it by your rules. If you want to build your favorite character for the game, do it. Whatever makes this game fun for you, that is what you have to do. Just be aware that our resources are not infinite. They are a finite resource, and if you build one character, you might not be able to build some of the newer characters that come out. So what does Build Positively mean? Well, it basically is my way of saying about growing our roster while staying within the constraints of the game and what the game gives us, while being completely free to play. And to do this, we need to know our resource income, which we track each and every month. And we need to know the character release schedule, again, which we track. And if you follow me in these videos, you shouldn't need to track that much apart from your resource income, because that differs from person to person. But with that information, what can we do? Well, we can come up with a strategy of how we're going to build our characters within the game to best make the most of our resources. And who is this for? Well, I am an end game player. I have Mephisto, I have Odin. I am preparing now for the Professor Xavier chase, but this can be for anybody. You can even do this in the early game, in all complete honesty, as long as you build from the point that you jump on. So let's take a look at our resource income for the month of March 2025. Before that, we're going to go over a bit of a gold income recap. So in November, we bought in a staggering 304 million gold to our account. I believe there was a tower out in November, which obviously always bumps our gold production up a bit. There were 30 days in November, which gave us an average of 10 million gold per day to spend. December came hot on the heels. December's usually a quieter month for Marvel Strike Force. And but we still brought in 300 million gold. A very, very good result. 31 days, though, did mean that our average gold to spend per day was down. January again, we bought in 300 million gold. This gold has gone up. I've tracked this for the past 12 months now, and it has been going up and up and up and up and up. It is insane. February, we did have a little dip, but we do have to remember that February is a 28-day month. But the average gold to spend per day was higher than what it was in January. But what did March look like? Well, here you have, this is how I track my gold income. Other people do it different ways. This is how I do it. So I take my starting balance at reset in the evening when the golden opportunity milestone resets. That is my starting balance. I then go into the golden opportunity milestone the next day. So if you were going to start this today, for example, you would at server reset, or at the golden opportunity milestone reset today, which for me is 10 p.m. For most, for some of you who are in America, that would be 2 p.m. PDT. Do your golden opportunity milestone, take your starting balance from there. So whatever gold you've got, mark that down on a spreadsheet. Tomorrow, when it comes to the same time again, so the server reset or the golden opportunity milestone reset, should I say, go into the golden opportunity milestone, take a look at what points you spent. That's how much gold you have spent during the course of the day. We put that in the gold spent column. We then put our finishing balance, which is the balance that we have at tomorrow's golden opportunity milestone in the finishing balance. And then our total gold income is basically the finishing balance minus the starting balance plus the gold spent. And you will see here that in March, we brought in a grand total of 321,391,690 gold to our account, completely and utterly free to play. There were a lot of chances to get gold, alliance milestones. There were the towers and everything like that that we managed to get gold in. So a very, very good month from the anniversary. Now, I'm not the only content creator to be doing this. Rage Gaming, who is another content creator on YouTube and part of the AllSpark cluster, has been doing this for a lot longer than I am. Go and check his channel out. I'm going to leave links to that down below. But I track his gold just to see, because Rage, like me, is free to play. So if two of us are getting similar results, this must be fairly the norm for people of the same activity levels of myself and Rage and other free to play players. So here is his video from this month. Insane gold update. Budget is key. Gold economy is strong. March 2025. He posted this a couple of days ago now. And just to show, the March result for him was 329,000 gold. So again, a very similar gold total to myself, which means that this must be a replicable, and the only real difference is a little bit of RNG. But gold's not all I track. Training materials is what I also track. And in February, I did do a little bit of a boo-boo if you guys were around for the last build positively. And I missed a day, I think it was, but still, it was a fairly low gold cost of training materials coming in. And this is basically tracked the very same way. So come golden opportunity milestone reset, I will go in once I've taken my gold balance, what I spent the day before, and my new gold balance. I will then spend my gold on upgrading characters. And all I do, I go in, I do my upgrade, and I take down, very similarly, what materials I've used, what I had, and what my finishing balance is. And this is the new method that we are doing. So we obviously have commander level 105 in the game now, which means we can take our characters to 105. And the total gold cost for taking a character from level 1 to level 105 is 33,203,180 gold worth of training materials. So in February, if we were doing characters to the max level 105, we could do 4.18 characters. Obviously, slightly more if you were only doing them to level 100, which is what we did last month. How did March look, though? Well, March was an absolutely hoofing month for training materials. 269,376,875 gold worth of training materials bought into my account. How did I achieve that, you might ask? Well, obviously, milestones, doing as well as I can in all the events, the solo events, the alliance events, any events that go on. But also, we have had 3 showcases running for the past month. We've had the Liberty Showcase, we've had the Starjammer Showcase, and we've had the 7th Anniversary Showcase. And currently, we also have the 7th Anniversary Showcase has gone away, but we also have the Vigilantes Showcase. Now, that showcase, when we get to Silver Sables Chapter 2, that will have training orbs in it. Chapter 2, the last node of Chapter 2 in the story, that always has a training orb node. So you farm those. You don't need to spend any extra energy on those. No energy refreshes. Just farm those with the energy that you get come into your just over time every single day. And then the only nodes I currently farm, because my gold is in such a good place, is I only farm the training material nodes. So going on that same premise again of leveling characters to 105 or new characters to 105 from level 1, the total characters that you could fully level in March was 8.11 characters. That is a huge amount of characters that you could level. T4 income. Again, this is something else I track every single day similarly. And you'll see here that my T4 income actually outweighed the T4s that I spent during the month, which is a good thing, but this is still a bottleneck in the game. I am currently working on my Starjammer team. I do not have enough T4s to fully T4 those guys. And we have the Vigilantes who are already on the start of the release now. So I'm about a team and a half behind in T4s. Hopefully at some point in time, they might release the tap a little bit on those, especially with this new overpower mechanic coming into the game. And so this is the T4 costs. Your basic costs 180, your special costs 220, your ultimate 240, and your passive is 200. That is a total of 840. If we were going to fully T4 a character, all 4 T4s, basic, special, ultimate, passive, which you don't always do, I know. But if we were going to do that, we could do 4.72 characters on average during March. And that is about the average that we have been getting. So that really hasn't changed. There's not been any substantial increase in that material coming into our account, but there also hasn't been a substantial decrease in that material coming into our account. Power cores is something else that I track, and I know that this will be the biggest difference to everyone. Now, full disclosure here, I sit within the top 10 of my arena rank, and that is because I value my arena teams very highly. They are my number one sort of thing, because power cores are such a useful resource in the game. They are one of the most powerful resources that you can have in the game. And so my power core income in March was 24,465. Now, there are a couple of occasions where I have dropped out of the top 10 because I've been busy and not been able to get on when I need to and stuff like that. And so that is why my income is slightly less. But you'll see there has been some substantial power core spending here. That was 22,625 power cores. That was for Havoc and Howard the Duck, getting them cored to 4 stars. That's a lot of cores, but I had those on hand because of how I manage my resources. Okay, so now we have taken a look at the resources. Let's take a look at what the character releases look like. And our character release schedule, again, this I keep on a spreadsheet, and I'll leave a link to this spreadsheet in the description down below. Now, this is different to how some people keep it. I basically mark the date that the character comes out in offers or power cores. I then track how many days between each initial release. I then mark my unlock date on them. So whenever I unlock the character, that is what I'll do. I also put the number of power core orbs opened to unlock that character. Free-to-play release event date goes in, and then the days between the initial release and the free-to-play I track, and also the days between the last free-to-play release. And the newest thing I am tracking, which I started tracking this month, is the 7-star date. So the date that I 7-star a character. Now, Jean Grey and Hercules currently, I believe, has coming at my fastest 7-star character since the change to the character cadence. So we've gone into these path 2 orbs, a different way of getting characters to how we used to. And as you can see here, Jean Grey took me 85 days and Hercules took me 74 days to get to the 7 yellow star mark. So in February 2025, our character release cadence looked like this. The average days between releases for paid was 10.375. And the average days between our free-to-play events was 21.33. 3. Now, March was slightly different. The average days between releases for paid characters has now gone up to 11 days, which is quite interesting. However, you can see that the average days between releases free-to-play is actually reducing to 20.875. So not a massive increase, not a massive decrease, but an increase between the time that paid characters are coming out, roughly on average, and a decrease in time that we're waiting for them for free-to-play events. Now, I do have a theory here, and I want you guys to let me know in the comments down below if you think I am right or not. So our training income for March was 269,376,875 gold worth of training materials, which, as we know, was 8 characters. Going by our level 105, as we said, 8.11 characters. The characters that are due to release in April, and this is my thought, Scopely give us the amount of training materials free to play. If you are an engaged free to play player, they give you the amount of training materials that you are going to need for the next month's worth of releases. Now, the next month's worth of releases, we have the Vigilante team, we have Punisher, we have Elektra, we have Daredevil Modern coming out on the 1st of April. If we follow the recent trend, which is 8 days between new characters, Silver Sable then would come out on the 9th of April. Hitmonkey would then come out on the 17th of April, and that still leaves our Professor X week open, which we know is late in April that is going to start. So we have that, but we also have an upcoming team, and I believe that upcoming team is going to be the Thunderbolts, and this is why. The movie is due to come out the 2nd of May. It makes perfect sense for Scopely to release that team very, very soon. So I would expect some form of, some form of announcement coming soon about that. And that would mean we would have the 6 characters there: Professor Xavier, Hitmonkey, Silver Sable, Daredevil Modern, Elektra, Punisher. But also we would have the reworks of Ghost and Taskmaster. And that is 8 characters. So far, at the moment, my prediction has been correct for the past 4 months on the trot. This is gaining momentum for me. I do believe this is the way that they are running the game. So your resources are coming in a month in advance, basically. So whatever you farm for March, that is meant for you for April. What you farm in April will be for May's releases, and so on and so forth. So the only way really to truly catch up in this game is to take 1 month off, and then you'll be on the right cadence. Now, I really love this picture. Strategy requires 3 things. You need to think about a strategy, you need to plan a strategy, and then finally you need to manage a strategy. And that is exactly what we're doing here with Build Positively. So let's take a look at my character building strategy for April 2025. Ignore the March. That is a typo. Okay, so we know what our new strategy is for doing or leveling our characters. So we are going to, when a new character comes out, we're going to level that character from 1 to 100 over the first 5 days, because we know that cadence between character releases is 10 days. We can then level 5 characters from level 100 to level 105 in the next 10 days. That's pretty good, right? And that gives us a total training material cost of 72,403,220. Your average days in the month is 30.42. So basically we are doing this times 3 over the course of a month. Now our average gold to spend was 10.367 per day. So we're well in there where the gold is concerned. And as we know from March, our training materials that came in was 269,376,875. So if we do that 72 times 3, that is layman's maths, 216,000. So we are well in there being able to do this strategy. So let's take a look at what I planned to do last month and then what I actually did. So last month, this was the plan. A very, very grand plan indeed. You can see here a total training material cost of 368,000 gold. Now I knew this wasn't achievable, but this is what I needed to do to catch up. What actually happened though? So we had our 269,000 million golds worth of training mats. And how did I spend them? Well, we finished the Liberty team. So we took Captain America Sam Wilson up to level 100. We took War Machine up to level 100. We did Peggy Carter up to level 100. Then I started on the Starjammers thinking that that was going to be something that we were going to need for events. Turns out that was wrong, and we had a tower that needed Liberty. So there was an instant level of Peggy Carter and Captain Sam to 105. And I took Falcon Joaquin to 105 and Gear Tier 19 straight away. Null became an important part of the arena meta. And so he went straight to 105 and Gear Tier 19 as soon as I unlocked him. And now I am starting to work on the Starjammers. So I have now 3 characters for the Starjammers to build and 2 characters for the Vigilantes to build. And then I'm caught up. Okay, and so I always have some sorts of quotes that I do. And this one is from Abraham Maslow. In any given moment, we have 2 options: to step forward into growth or to step back into safety. And the reason why I've chosen this quote this month is because I've been having some discussions with my alliance mates and my community friends and people who are in the BPG community as well. And there's been a lot of discussion, especially with Overpower, about having to bring characters up, the older characters up that they use on the daily, the weekly in Cosmic Crucible, for example, New Warriors, etc. And I think that is wrong. That is that stepping back into safety, building old teams like New Warriors, building old characters like Kang. However good they are, that is stepping back into safety. If you keep building forwards, you're going to build into growth. You're going to find new strategies to take on the teams that you had these old counters for. And I think that is the most important thing we need to do, especially with this new Overpower mechanic coming to the game. Okay, so what's the plan for next month then? Well, to start off with, I wanted to show you guys what I have accumulated over the course of March. Now, obviously, this is a snapshot. I took this yesterday. This is what training materials I have on hand now to work with. Now, a green training material, for those of you that don't know, gives you 315 gold worth of basically training XP. Blues are 1,250, purples are 5,000, and golds are 10,000. And so if you look here, I have 101 million gold worth of training materials on hand that allows me to pivot whenever I actually need to. So by building how I'm building currently, I have that stockpile of training materials being built up that is going to allow me to pivot when I need to. It will allow me when I unlock Professor Xavier, which won't be for a few months, but it will allow me when I unlock Professor Xavier to be able to level him right to the top on day one, the day that I unlock him. And so let's take a look at what I'm going to be doing next month. So we've got Lalandra, Howard the Duck, and Havoc to finish. We've got Punisher and Elektra to finish. And even then, when Daredevil, Silver Sable, and Hitmonkey, when I get them, I'm going to be looking to upgrade them to the fullest. But look at that training material cost that I've brought down to now. 193 million gold. Now, with that training materials I've got on hand as well, I only need 93 million gold worth of training mats to come in next month to be able to be caught up. And once I'm caught up, I am sure that I will start seeing the benefits of building my characters to level 105, keeping up with the meta completely. I'm going to see and reap those benefits. Okay, so some final thoughts on building positively. March was an insane month where resources were concerned. Really, really happy with how much we had come out of or come into our accounts in March. We're nearly caught up on the new meta characters and the new characters. So 105 for me is the next thing, and the next thing to focus on will be that Professor Xavier saga, getting those characters to 105 and gear tier 20. Why don't you let me know down in the comments below how you did last month, what your plans are for this month, and do you think that my build positively strategy is replicable by yourself? Don't forget, if you have found the content in this video helpful, please do consider dropping a like. Subscribe to the channel so you know when I upload new videos. And until next time, everyone, positive.